celebrate. They have done it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day. Kind of rumour has a bit of a mixture into one, really. It's going to be that kind of a summer, isn't it, really? So I thought I'd jump behind the microphone and talk a little bit about goalkeepers, because we've seen a lot of stuff about goalkeepers. We're going to see a lot more stuff about everybody this summer transfer window, especially given the fact that Newcastle apparently want 4 players, 1, 2, 3, 4 players, that's right. And a goalkeeper sounds like they may be one of them. Now, we've seen loads of links in the media, in particular to Joan Garcia. We did a rumour has a video on him. Very, very talented Espanyol goalkeeper. Great with his feet, brilliant shot stopper, quick reflexes, young, very, very good, in a £20 million buyout clause as well from Espanyol. Now, what was interesting about this one, and I must doff my cap to all those cynics on social media who said, isn't it weird? It's only Spanish media that are reporting this. Now, sadly, some of us got sucked into the excitement about potentially signing a great young goalkeeper, myself included, I've got to be said. And I should have listened to the wise words of George Michael, 1 December, once bitten, twice shy, because this reminds me of Mamardashvili from Valencia when we got led down the garden path. Newcastle United's name was used as a gaslighting method to think that Mamardashvili was going to come sign for Newcastle. Lo and behold, he didn't. He signed for Liverpool, and he's going to be there, I think, next season as well. But this seems to be what's happened with Joan Garcia. All the noise is starting to creep out now about how Barcelona are interested in him. They're even apparently willing to sell Ter Stegen, the German #1 goalkeeper right now, the captain of the club, 33 years old on a whopping salary at Barcelona. Barcelona just constantly live in a state of financial disarray. They're like the Wolf of Wall Street. They're just moving pink slips left, right, and centre. I don't know how the fuck they still stay alive. I really don't. Oh, yeah, I do, because they're Barcelona and FIFA and everybody else are hanging out their backsides, and that's how they get away with it. But they're talking about selling Ter Stegen to fund the purchasing of Joan Garcia, who they see very much as potentially a future Spanish #1. So watch that one, because he seems to be tailor-made for either Chelsea or a Manchester United. But difference is Manchester United are skint without Champions League football. That's right. I'll never get sick of saying it, without Champions League football. Thanks for helping Newcastle get ours, by the way, guys. Checks in the mail. But without that competition and without the money that comes with that competition, they're going to be in big trouble signing these big name players. Yes, Cunha's going there. He's a Man United fan. Fair play to him. If he's always want to play for Man United, he's going to go play for Man United. It looks like Bruno Fernandes may be out the door. That could raise him 100 million quid potentially. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't care. As long as we get our targets, I couldn't give a rat's ass or a mouse dropping's ass, which is apparently in the restaurants, if you believe what you hear about them lot. But going back to the goalkeeper situation now, I'm going to give Craig Hope a shout out for this. Met Craig a few times. Top bloke, really nice fella. Love his content. And Craig Hope has never wavered from the links to James Trafford. He's always said that James Trafford is the one. James Trafford is #1. That's the guy Eddie Howe wants. That's the guy Eddie Howe sees as a long-term replacement to Nick Pope. Now, apparently, if you believe what you read, what you heard, that this was about to get done, I think, was it last summer potentially? And it didn't happen. And James Trafford stayed with Burnley in the Championship. Looked to be the right call, because he's had a phenomenal season with Burnley in the Championship. We'll look at the stats again, just to show you how good of a season that he's had. I mean, 45 appearances. He's only conceded 16 goals. So he's only conceding a goal something like every 2.8 games. Save percentage up an 84th percentile. Look at his save percentage. He's in the 99th percentile of goalkeepers in the top competitions, or men's next 14 competitions over the last 365 days, who based on 4,500 minutes as the percentile comparison tells you, the old T's and C's. You know, goal save percentage up an 89 percentile, clean sheets 99th percentile. Touches is really important. Now, against Nick Pope, you can see he massively outdoes Nick Pope on touches. And I think I looked at Nick Pope's FB ref stats before, and he was only in the 9th percentile or something. If you look at James Trafford's in the 78th percentile. This kid is brilliant with his feet. He loves using his feet. He's very much a modern-day goalkeeper. Good shot stopper, very agile, collects crosses very well, gets down very well. Brilliant penalty-saving record as well. We saw that in the European Championships that he won with Anthony Gordon with that penalty save. He's very, very good at that. He had a season in the Premier League too soon. He was a bit too soft. He got roughed up and shoved around by attackers, and he got put on the bench as Burnley got relegated. But you know, a season in the Championship looks like it's definitely sorted him out, and he's the scourge of the Mackham. So I'm sure we all love him for that one as well. But you can see that he loves to use his feet. He's not scared of getting the ball, taking a touch here or there, passing out, it was full back and starting to play from there. And I think that's how Newcastle want to evolve and how they want to play moving forward there. But in terms of his comparisons to Nick Pope, as you can see there, he kind of shadows him on pretty much a lot of the modern day goalkeeping stuff. I do think that James Trafford 100% is a brilliant young goalkeeper. He's 10 years younger than Nick Pope as well, which is really important to remember. We need a contingency plan for that. Now, no matter what happens, I mean, Dubravka's future's at risk. Vlachodimos, no one knows what the hell's going on with that. John Ruddy, he's just there to give everybody a pep talk and high five, I think. Mark Gillespie just carries the water. So we've got loads of goalkeepers, and maybe one or two of them are going to go. But whatever happens, it sounds like Nick Pope is going to stay on Tyneside. And I don't think that's a bad idea, because if we do bring in James Trafford, but the money's gone up. So previously last summer we were at James Trafford maybe about 20 million quid. Now he's had this phenomenal season. There's a sell-on clause as well to Manchester City where they get a bit of the slice of the pie. So you're probably looking closer to 30 million quid for James Trafford. Now, do the club want to spend that on this young goalkeeper? Do they want to pull the trigger now before they leave him to go somewhere else or get even better? Depends on how much Eddie wants him. And with the shuffle around with Mitchell, I wonder whether Eddie's just getting his say here. And apparently, if you believe what Craig Hope says, there's going to be some moves with an offer for Trafford in the coming days. So we'll definitely be keeping our eyes peeled on that one. But this whole thing with Garcia has pissed a lot of Newcastle fans off again, because once again, it's just Newcastle's name being used as an outlet for agents to try and flush other clubs out or fatten up offers. And it's something that we have to remember as Newcastle United fans now. We are that club. We are that club that people want to throw our name in to whip the interest up and get the other clubs nervous that maybe Newcastle will come in with all that massive PIF money and take this target away from me. There might not be a chance in hell that this lad was ever going to come to Newcastle, but we go talk about his content creators, we get excited about his fans, and we just get let down once again. And, it's something that I think I'm definitely going to be mindful of over the summer, all these consistent links to targets. We might have to start looking at these a little bit more in the measure. But if you want to compare Joan Garcia to James Trafford, that's the radar grid that we have there as well. You can see that it's very, very close between two very good young goalkeepers. In terms of the goals saved, I think Trafford outweighs Joan Garcia on that one. Passes and touches, he outweighs him on that one as well. There isn't much in the save percentage between the two of them. With Joan Garcia kind of coming in around about 75, 76 percentile, and obviously James Trafford coming in kind of closer to 85 percentile. The saves themselves per match, Joan Garcia is making more saves, but with all due respect, Espanyol in La Liga, he's getting a lot more shots at them than maybe Trafford was getting in the Championship. So they're all kind of contextually stacked comparisons, really. You can find what you want to look for, really. But these are two excellent goalkeepers, two excellent young goalkeepers. And if Newcastle United end up with either one of these, then I think that's an improvement on what we have right now. But it's important to say that Nick Pope as well, towards the end of the season, Nick Pope started to come back to the Nick Pope that we knew and loved. Without Nick Pope's reflex saves, collecting crosses, being strong one-on-one as well. Without him doing that, I think we would have drawn or lost games and possibly missed out on Champions League. So that's important to remember as well. And if you are going to bring in James Trafford in the summer, which it sounds like that's what Eddie wants to do, and if you believe what you're hearing and you're reading from Craig Hope in the Daily Mail, that this is going to maybe get pushed through in the next kind of week or two, then that's great. But sometimes with young players, you can throw them into a cauldron that's maybe a little bit too much for them, like we saw with Trafford in the Premier League. So it's not a bad idea to have Nick Pope there to maybe take on some of them big Champions League games where he's got that experience. He's played for England. He's played in the Champions League previously for Newcastle. Maybe that's a better idea to have Nick Pope in those games and slowly kind of bleed in James Trafford into the Premier League. Maybe, mix the keepers up a little bit for cups, Champions League, Premier League, do that kind of a thing as well. But we'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward with the goalkeeper. But it doesn't surprise me. The James Trafford links have never gone away. The Joan Garcia ones kind of came out of left field a little bit. And again, the skepticism and cynicism of fans saying it was only Spanish media reporting them, they're probably going to be vindicated, really, because this kid might end up at Barcelona, and once Barcelona and Real Madrid come in for young Spanish players, you can kind of forget about it, really. You look at Dean Howson from Bournemouth. The minute Real Madrid wanted him, that was it. Game over. See you later, pal. Doesn't matter who was in from, really. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with the goalkeepers. But it's looking very much like the Joan Garcia thing was just whipped up by maybe agent talk and Spanish media trying to push a deal through to Barcelona. So it's something that I think we should all be mindful of with these other targets coming up. But we're not even in the window yet. It's not even open yet. It's going to open in a couple of days. But it's exciting already, all these links for Newcastle United. But we need to get our business done early. We've got these two windows, the mini window from the 1st of June to the 10th of June. Get that done. Get a cup in the door. get Brian Mbermo in. A lot of people got pissy when I didn't pronounce it properly. I mean, it's one of them names that's going to throw you. I don't give a fuck how you pronounce it. As long as he plays with Newcastle, that'll do for me. And then Mark Gahey or Guehi, whichever way you want to call that, get them two in this first little mini window. We're laughing. We've got 2 or 4 positions already sorted. Get Trafford in and get a centre forward in. It's not going to be Liam Delap now. He's gone to Chelsea, as we all know. Jonathan David looks like he's going to Napoli. So the striker market is shrinking. Who are Newcastle going to go for, if anybody? Or they're going to do the mental thing of offering Callum Wilson an incentivise contract and maybe giving Willis Sula more time next season. But I think Eddie's starting to see Willis Sula more as an attacking right-sided player. So we don't know what's going to happen. But if Newcastle want 4 players, and apparently they don't have to sell the big guns, which is mint. So then Isak, Gordon, Tonali, Bruno, Botman, they can all just be comfortable, stay at Newcastle. All these links are nonsense. Newcastle don't need to sell any of these players. I still have my doubts with Anthony Gordon, though. I'll come on to that in a future video as well. But if we can get those 4 players in early doors, either in this first mini window in June or before the end of June, then we'll be ready for the next season with a much better squad to take on Premier League, Champions League, and the Cups, and hopefully have an even more successful season than the one just gone. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below about Joan Garcia. Did you think it was always bullshit? Were you skeptical about it because there was no kind of UK media reporting about it? Or again, do you think it's something that maybe the club have spoken about, but that just Eddie's got his particular targets, and that's the way this has gone? Always like to hear from you. Drop a comment in. We'll do our best to reply. If you take the time to type, we'll take the time to reply as best as we can. Like and subscribe. Keep it ever more, guys. We've had loads of new subscribers recently. Thank you so much for that. We're pushing on to 10,500 subs, and then on to 11,000 after that, hopefully soon enough. But keep it ever more. We'll be with you through the summer. Loads of transfer links. Hopefully Newcastle get their business done early. It's going to be an exciting time. Have a belter. See you later. Cheers.
Heroes celebrate. They have done it.